It's pretty dirty on the sheet now because of all the stuff that came off, but be very careful and don't vacuum until you've gotten everything up. Now I'm going to get these pushers out. So these are coming out pretty nicely. Just pulling them up. The rail comes, if the channel comes out, just put it in there. Being very gentle. I'm not forcing these. I'm not using too much force. Oh, it's pretty tough in there. There we go. Scratch my knuckle a little bit. I'll be more aggressive with them when they're outside the plastic piece. So the front and the back pieces are different. On the front, there is the hole for the pusher spring. In the back, there isn't, and it's the same with the channels. Groove for pusher spring, no groove. They're pretty easy to tell apart, so I'm just going to put these all together. Okay, now I'm going to take the channels out of the plate. So you may be able to pull it out with the orange tool. Sometimes if they're loose, you can go like that and some come out, but these are pretty tight in there. Now, if you're worried about damaging your orange tool, you can use a dental pick for this, or some similar tool. I think the Cricut machine, there's actually a tool just like this that may work as well. But you can't put the whole thing in the channel. This is too tight, so I'm just putting the tip down low enough to where I can catch the bottom of the channel. It's this part that you can't put the whole thing in. It's too small. Like that. And I have better luck catching it from this side and pulling up than I do from this side. Okay. I'm going to put that in my plastic part down. And keep on. Nope, no. Oh, see, one wanted to come out. No more. Each plate has 19 channels. The 20th is in between these two plates, which is why there's one less, because you have to have them between. You can't have them on the end between the end and the wing. So, so it's 19 times 9 plus 8 on each side. Sometimes the spacers are still on it. Make sure you don't want to lose those. Make sure to be careful with those. So now I have some mason jars, and I'm going to put these in them. Okay, it looks like I lost video, but I distributed the channels into 3 mason jars. And I put all the needles into 1 mason jar. All the hooks on one side, all the ends on the bottom. You can use 2, you don't have to do them like this. You can use multiple, you can spread them out, clean them individually or whatever. But now we have these 4 jars, and we have 4 smaller containers for the pushers. I'm going to distribute the pushers a little better, a little more equally. So I'm going to fill these up with isopropyl alcohol. Now, there's something else that's recommended. I don't remember what it's called, but it's not legally sold or used in California where I am, so I cannot use it. So I have to use this. And the reason it's not sold in California is environmental reasons. It's not good for the environment. I'm not sure how much better this is, but at least it's sold. Okay, and I'm going to fill these all up, and I'm actually going to take them outside. This evaporates. The alcohol in it evaporates. And I don't want it evaporating it inside, but I'm just going to show you guys inside. And I'll actually reuse this same alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, for a lot of the stuff. I'll do a few washes. So I'll do like a first wash, do a first wash with a bunch of stuff, and then do a second wash. Like I'll take this and I'll run this through all the others. Yeah, we're inside, and now the you can hear the air purifier running because it sensed this. I don't shake it like this. I'm rotating it around. So all the ends and all the hooks are still staying in the same place. And not hitting the can here. I'm not hitting the hooks. They're just being agitated here. So I might do a first wash. Pour the first wash from one into another. I'll actually also cover this. Yeah, I'll cover that so because there's still some in there. Okay, and then this one you could be a little more aggressive with. This one will actually be a lot dirtier probably. It's okay if you go like this. He's much dirtier now. I'm still going to run this to the next one. Cover that inside. Just going to put a different one on top. I'm out of lids. I don't know where all my lids are. Now the second wash of the cleaner alcohol, the second round, is what I'm going to let soak in. Okay, so I'm going to clean the pushers too. I'm not going to clean any of the nuts, bolts, washers, any of that stuff. It doesn't need to be cleaned like this stuff does. You can if you want. I don't see a point. Okay, and I'm going to take the stuff outside in a little bit. The next thing will be to clean this frame. So I'm going to take a little bit, some Q-tips, and clean the dirt off the frame here, down here, that's sticky. Usually you don't have to clean the frame, but this one, since something was spilled on it, something happened to this one, I'm going to clean the frame as well. And also with the alcohol, with a little Q-tip and some of this stuff. Okay, and after you've let it soaked and you know, you're not staining the water like this anymore, then you can lay them out to dry. So lay them out outside, preferably, ideally. You should lay them out outside just because they're gonna still give off the alcohol, and you'd have that in your house. So unless it's a really well ventilated area inside, you're gonna have some air pollution there inside. Okay, similar thing with the pushers. I'm just going to do that outside because it's going to be exposed. I'm just going to slosh it like this. So open outside. So I'm going to take those out and then come back after these have all been cleaned and laid out to dry. So I have cleaned and air dried all the pushers, channels, and needles. Now I also need to clean all my plastic parts. So I am just going to soak these and use some dish soap spray, some foaming dish soap spray, and hopefully get these all clean, rinsed out with a power rinser. And then these need to air dry before I put the channels back in and start assembling this again. So I'm just going to go ahead and wash these and come back when these are ready to move on. So while I wait for the plastic parts to dry, I'm going to continue cleaning. So I'm going to work on the spring. I'm taking it and stretching it a little bit and trying to pull that lint out. See, it's coming out. And just keep going until you get all of it out. Be very gentle. Try not to bend it at all. You definitely don't want to ruin your spring. But see how much lint I've gotten out so far? That's a lot. Okay. I'll cover those back up so I don't drop some more lint on top of those clean stuff. Sometimes you can just blow or kind of vacuum it out, but there's a lot in here. So I'm just getting it out by my fingers. Okay, we'll do that for all springs, all 3 springs. Okay. Okay, now I am going to clean the plastics on the lock. So I have a household cleaner wipe thing, plastic safe. Clean this off. So I'm just going to clean the plastic and then look at the back and see how it functions. Okay, so I know I have issues here with this piece. It's a little chipped here. So I'm going to have to file this down because it gets stuck when I'm trying to put it back on the track. I'll take care of that later though. But right now we're just going to look at this lock. Looks pretty clean. We're just going to watch this functions. So that moves the stuff. Well, that moves nicely. I'm switching it from N to X on the back. It moves nicely. See? It moves nicely as well. It moves nice. Wait. That's not good. So G is usually the hardest because it pulls everything out. So that's moving really nicely. So I'm not gonna have to oil too much probably to try to get it working. Everything looks good. I've had a pinky that was not used for probably 40 years, and that one was really stiff. So this one, nothing like that. So that's going well. Pretty good. So we'll just check it on the machine later to see how it's picking up, if everything is working, picking the needles up correctly. Don't use chemicals on that. That is the sensor. And you see there's a motherboard back there. So be very careful about what kind of material, what kind of chemicals you put on here. So I can see I'm looking, I can see there's a bunch of lint over there. I'll clean that up later. This is not terrible. So this is acceptable right now. Same thing on the back lock. We're gonna clean off this plastic. Careful about using like certain cleaners over these letters and numbers because you could actually rub off the paint. Okay. There's some lint in there. Pretty stuck in there. There's some lint in there. I'm just gonna pick some of this out with a tool. If you have a little lint, that's fine. It's just I see there's a fair amount here. Like right here, there's a whole big thing stuck. So try to get that out while I'm looking at it. Okay, and we're going to run through the functions like we did on the front. Definitely more lint here. Kind of brush it off. I'm going to get the main chunks. I'm not going to be too picky about having this too clean. Just I don't want anything that's going to fall come out of this and fall onto the needle bed. But if there's just like a little bit, maybe I'll try to vacuum up later. That should be fine. Plus I'm going to handle this a lot more, so stuff's still going to come out. Oh, it looks like there might be a fair amount of chunks here. Yeah, look at that, those pieces. Just getting the main chunks out. I can vacuum this out later. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing as we did on the front. Oh, this coming off. Okay, this is coming off because it looks like on this side there probably was supposed to be a tab here, maybe. Looks like it's sheared off. Okay, that's in there. Okay. Luckily, you don't really hold this piece a lot. You may touch it when you're moving some things around, but hopefully this isn't a problem. Otherwise, I'm going to have to figure out a way to secure that. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Okay. So, we're going to go through the functions again. Flip it over. Put the lever. Those move nicely. Go to B.
Mommy?
Those move nicely.
Are you making the video now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, but could I just check it out?
Okay, but no talking.
Okay.
Can you close the door because the TV is loud?
Okay, bye, Mommy.
Okay, bye. Okay.
Are you finished dinner?
No, not yet, Jasper. Can you close the door for now? Close the door for now, sweetie. Okay, so B moves nicely. Check out C. That moves well. That moves well. Yep. Yep, and G, this is G. G's usually the hardest to do. And that's not too bad. That's pretty good. Okay. That's all the functions. And then now we have arrows. So let's see what pops up, releases, pops up, release, pops up, release. Oops. Okay. Then we'll see how those actually function on the bed, but everything seems to be moving really nicely. Put that aside, move on. And now we're gonna have these wings to clean. So I'm not cleaning them with the other plastic parts because I'm not soaking them because of the metal, so I'm just gonna get another wipe. And then also the color changer. Yeah, I'm not going to rub hard over the writing because I don't want to rub that off. Regardless of what chemicals you're using, you know, you don't want to scratch it a lot. Okay, I'm also going to clean inside the rail, fold it up a little bit, and run it through inside the track, both ways. Okay. It's definitely discolored. It is what it is. Put that aside. Move on to the color changer. Yeah. Gonna put these all down at the same time. Clean them a little bit. Okay. Again, the plastic is gonna be discolored. Sometimes that's fine. You know, it is what it is. You can actually lighten, you can actually whiten yellowed plastic by putting it in hydrogen peroxide, but it actually weakens the plastic. So just leave it, unless it's like purely aesthetic. You don't want to weaken the plastic. Get a little different angle on these. Clean a little bit more. And I'm just gonna let it be dirty. I mean, you can kind of get in there with the point and clean that off a little bit. But our goal is function, and this will function. Okay, put up a little more and run it through the rails again. I missed a spot. There we go. Pretty dirty, but I don't know if I can get that. Okay, it's a little better, but still pretty dirty. Okay, that is better. Okay, stained plastic, that's okay. And some more dust in all these crevices. Yeah, I can't really get that. Okay, luckily this seems to function well. And there were only 3 included. So this is a 3-color changer apparently. I actually have a auto color myself, so I'm not sure how this one is supposed to function. I'll have to look it up, but it only seems to switch between 2 colors well. Yeah, if I pick any 2, it still works the same. It's weird. The way I'm holding it. Oh, but that's still, yeah, half up. Okay, so I pick 3. So I'm not sure if that's actually supposed to happen. I'll have to look in how this one's supposed to function. Same thing with 4, it flips them up weird. Okay, I set that aside as well. And I cleaned out the frame, just a little bit of stuff on it. And then we just wait for the plastic to be dry to assemble everything together again. Okay, now I have the needle channel plates completely dry and ready to put the channels back in. So I'm going to start with the front ones. They have a hole on the side here, and we're going to match them up with channels that have holes in them. So I'm going to turn to the side and make sure I can still see through it. So So I'm just going to start putting them back in. Now, I don't think these needle channels are really damaged, but I could test them if I'd like to see how they work by just taking a needle and see if it drops through. Drops through. And you can test them before you put them in, but that doesn't seem to be an issue with these channels. I've had a machine where half the channels were broken, basically, were damaged, and you couldn't drop a needle through that. So I haven't found any yet, so I'm just going to go with them all working and then see if there's an issue when I put the needles on the bed later. Okay, so I'm just going to put needles in, put the channels in, and keep going. And you can see that there are holes here and here. And I'm starting with the front bed ones because you can't see as easily, you know, if there's a back bed and a front bed. You can see a little hole here, but you can't visually check and say. I can visually check and say, oh, you know, I can look down that and say, oh, there's no back bed ones on this. So it's just easier to get all the holes, all the ones with the holes, and then just put the rest on the back bed ones. Alternately, you can just not combine them like I did. Okay, 1 down and 17 to go. Now, if the channels are not fitting well in the plate, I can tap them in with my mallet. No, notice this isn't a hammer, it's a mallet. So I tried to show you guys there. I'll just put it down solidly. Definitely a little better. Still sticking up a little bit, but we'll see once it gets on the machine if I'm gonna have to tap them down a little bit more. I feel like these are coming up a little bit more than they should. That might have to be tapped down some more. I need a harder surface to tap these on because the carpet is just bouncing them back out. Okay, I'm just going to check these channels. Oop. Yeah, every channel I've tested so far has been good.